Hello, welcome to On Cue. My name's Sean Robertson, manager of the Florissant Civic Center Theater. For those of you not familiar with the show, we like to get a couple people from the upcoming productions and some of the company performers from local theater productions talk about some of the shows that you're going to see coming up this fall. Today we're going to discuss A Raisin in the Sun, brought to you by the Hawthorne Players. And Raisin in the Sun, it's a play by Lorraine Hansberry. And it first debuted on Broadway in 1959. It won the New York Drama Critics Circle Award for Best Play in 1959. And it was also the first play written by an African-American woman to be produced on Broadway. It was nominated for 4 Tony Awards for Best Play, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Direction. There have been many adaptations of the production from TV to film and also on stage. Some people may remember some productions with Sidney Poitier or Danny Glover, and who's the other? Oh, Denzel Washington was another one that's played some of the feature roles in Raisin in the Sun. So today I'm joined by 2 performers that are going to be in the show, and I'm here with Kimmy Kidd-Booker and Eric Lindsey, who are both going to be joining us today from the Hawthorne Players. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So before we get to talking about the show, let's get to know some of our guests.
Yes.
Kimmy, now you're not originally from St. Louis, are you?
Actually,
you are.
I am.
Oh my goodness.
I was born and raised in St. Louis, and then when I was about 12 years old, my mother decided she wanted to changed her life and changed our life. So it was me and Mom and my little brother Mark moved us out west, and we wound up in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
And I decided to come home after 30 years, which was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Wow.
And you were a performer in Las Vegas.
Yes, I
also.
was. Yes.
What kind of stuff did you do there?
Well, I did what we call streetmosphere or character acting, and that is the hotels I worked for, which was the Excalibur. I worked at New York. I worked at the Venetian. We dressed up as characters, and we would do daytime shows. So every hour we'd do a full, like, 20-minute show. So at the Venetian, for example, we sang Italian songs and Neapolitan songs. We dressed up in Italian Renaissance costumes, and we had an accent and a personality, and the people would come and take pictures with us, and we created atmosphere for the hotel. And so I did that kind of work for years.
And what brought you back here originally?
I fell in love.
Oh, okay.
I fell in love with an old friend, and I decided, well, my kids are grown. I'm going to take a leap of faith and come back home. It's been remarkable. There's much more theater here in St. Louis than in Las Vegas.
Well,
it's amazing.
Let's get to Eric. Let's not
Yes.
forget about you over there. Are you from the St. Louis area?
I mean, I was born here. I grew up in Ironton, Missouri.
Ironton, Missouri.
A small town.
Okay.
A lot of people haven't heard of it, but it's a very beautiful town. Lots of nature scenery to be seen.
Okay. And how'd you get involved in performing arts?
Oh, so I went to a school, high school, Arcadia Valley. Throughout like elementary, middle school, and things of that nature, my mom would put me in like improv classes. I would do plays at school. And then in high school, it kind of really stuck with me.
All right.
So ever since then, it was like, I have to do this. This has to be it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the show here.
Okay.
This is a very famous play, and it has a lot of major issues that it really touches on. And tell us about the character that you play and something that we're going to be able to see when we come and see this show.
Well, absolutely. Lena Younger is the matriarch. She is the head of the household, and she recently lost her husband. And so again, as the head of the household, she is in charge, makes all the major decisions, and but she's also a very loving mama. She's mama, she cooks and she cleans and she handles all the business end of things, but she's also a very loving warm human being. But rules the home with a pretty firm, I wouldn't say an iron fist, but she's pretty firm about her rules.
And a lot of the show centers on, there's a insurance check.
Yes, Big Walter, Walter Lee Younger, passes away, and they have been expecting this insurance check, and they've been expecting it. We don't really know how long they've been waiting, but yes, at this point in the play, the check is coming tomorrow. Okay. And so it's about, what are we going to do with all this money? We've struggled our whole lives and had nothing, and now we have access to possibly fulfilling our dreams.
And you play, Eric, you play Walter,
yeah.
And he's the son?
The son of Mama and Big Walter.
Yeah.
All right. And what's his story?
Oh man, his story. So, how I see it, father passes away, and you obviously, Big Walter is a good man, so you obviously want to be able to fill his shoes, but there's some big shoes to fill.
Okay.
And 34, 35-ish is relatively young, but at that point in your life with a son and a wife and a mother who's growing old and a baby sister, you kind of want to be able to provide for them, and it weighs on you if you're not able to. So I think that's what we're seeing, a man with very good intentions who just wants to provide for his family, struggle with all of the obstacles that he has to go through to make that happen within society and in the home.
Okay, that's a heavy role right there.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
When does the show take place?
Takes place in 1954.
Yes.
1954.
Yes.
Fall of 19.
And
Yes.
the set is the whole show is pretty much in the same. It's in one location inside their apartment, right?
It's a small 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
Chicago South Side.
So 50s Chicago South Side, and
Yes.
tell us now. There's lots of there's not just you two. There's
Yes.
There's the whole family. There's you have a son. There's your wife. There's your sister. Who am I forgetting now? There's the guys that are trying to get you to.
Those two.
There's 2 guys that are trying to get you to do something with your money.
Oh yes.
And are there 2 characters for that in the play? I don't remember.
So we have one guy that you actually see.
Okay. And
Bobo.
Bobo.
You actually get to meet Bobo. You don't get to meet the other gentleman, which I'll keep his name. So we'll keep
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
I know there's somebody that hasn't
Spoilers.
seen this.
Keep some secrets here for
there's
sure.
somebody hasn't seen this.
Now.
Well, an interesting note, if I may.
Please.
Joshua, who plays Travis, my grandson, his dad and I actually went to elementary school together here in St. Louis when I was growing up.
That is a small world.
It is, and so I never thought in a million years we'd be working together in this capacity.
I think, is this the gentleman right
yes.
here? We've got a little picture of him here on this little flyer here.
And he happens to be a Muni kid, too.
Yes, I believe I saw him earlier this summer when the Muni kids performed for the senior community up at the Florissant Civic Center Theater.
Probably,
and the whole company of kids was just extremely talented, and I knew he was up there and got to see him perform, and so I know he's truly talented. And now, I've seen you in lots of shows at the Florissant Civic Center Theater.
Yes.
I don't belong on this set with her right now. I am not worthy because she really truly is a star. She was in The Wiz.
Yes.
You were in Fences.
Yes.
Which was a very powerful show, directed by Nancy Krause, who is also directing A Raisin in the Sun. That is another person that I don't belong in the same room with because she is truly talented and devoted director, actress, and anything involved in the arts. She's got her, finger on the pulse, and she's making sure it's flowing right. And what else did she direct? She directed Fences, which you were in, and The Wiz. She was also Miss Daisy in Driving Miss Daisy, and has directed countless shows for the Hawthorne Players and other local groups all around the area. Anytime she touches something, as far as these shows that we do here, it's going to be of the highest level, and it's always a pleasure to work with her. And I know some of the other people involved in the show are, we have Jean Heckman doing the costumes, and she always does a terrific job, and the whole Hawthorne company in general. Just it's outstanding performances, and it's community theater, but it's professional level theater.
Yes, it is.
At its finest. What else do we want to tell people about this show? The importance of this actual piece.
Well, for me, playing Lena is going to be an extremely challenging thing because Kimmy Kidd, has to disappear. But in all seriousness, though, I really want to do credit and do a really good job in being believable in this role. And so that's going to be very challenging for me, but I look forward to the challenge, and I really want to make it a quality show. A quality performance and be respectful.
And for you, sir.
Yeah.
Man, it's so much to be said about A Raisin in the Sun for so many different reasons, but I think for all ages, for all generations, there's something for everybody. You see literally 3 different generations, or maybe even 4. Beneath it may be a different generation than Walter and Ruth. 4 different generations who see a way out for the family for every reason. So everybody has a way out.
Everyone has their own story
to
be told.
Yes, exactly.
And they're all justifiable too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all
which road should you take?
Yeah, they're all right. They're
Yeah.
all truth. They all have benefits for everybody. So I hope that people, when they come, they can see the heart of the character, and even if they disagree, they still agree, and find ways from the characters to look at their family members or people they have in their lives to see what dreams they have, and they support those dreams as well.
Hawthorne Players are doing A Raisin in the Sun at the Florissant Civic Center Theater. Tickets are, let me make sure I get these ticket prices right here. They're $18 for adults and $16 for seniors and students. And we actually have a special group discount rate for 6 or more for only $12 a ticket. And I'll hold this flyer up again because it's a pretty neat little picture they got there. We also, I believe, have $5 student tickets for any of you interested out there. You can call our box office for tickets or check us out online. The Hawthorne Players have their own website and Facebook pages and all those things that you can find out information on this show. Is there anything else that? Well, actually, I want to touch on something completely different of the show, and this is something new that we've been doing is. Trying to find out people's memorable experiences in working in the performing arts. If you've got something that has really ever stuck out, or something life-changing, or not, or just some time you had fun. Is there something? I like to put you guys on the spot for this one. And what would be your most favorite role or favorite person you've ever worked with? Or so
that's a tough one.
Let me have it
Oh
here.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well, because there's so many. And well, I will. The story that comes to mind is going to sound really sappy, but when I left Las Vegas to come back home to St. Louis, I got really homesick. I wasn't sure if it was the right decision. I was kind of ready to go back after about a year. And then I saw STLauditions.com. I saw the audition for Fences. And I said, I don't know, I'll give it a shot. I really didn't think much of it in terms of my getting the role, or I don't know. So I auditioned and I met Nancy and everyone, and I got the role, and the rest is history. Hawthorne Players was what really made me want to stay in St. Louis. And as hokey as that sounds, that is the truth.
Great answer.
I was ready to go back to Vegas. I thought this was not a good decision. I don't know. And when I got the role,
I think you made the right decision.
And so-
Fences was a powerful production. Archie Coleman.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I was going to shout him out.
Is a
Yes,
is a,
Archie.
is a talent.
I love Archie.
Is Archie in this show?
He is indeed.
Bobo.
He plays Bobo.
He
yes.
plays Bobo. Okay. Archie has been in also a number of shows, and is one of those performers that can show just just a great range.
Yes.
He's he can be terrifying. As times in Fences is really scary.
Yeah, well, I'm
but he
less
was
scared of
also
Archie.
character in Driving Miss Daisy, where
I saw
he's
that.
so
That was great.
just I'm doing a terrible job of describing
No,
this.
no, you're doing good.
He shows, you know, full ends of the spectrum, and I was talking with Nancy about that and how just that's, you know, a sign of just true talent right there, that they can show that range. But yeah, so Archie Coleman's in this show. There's another reason to come and see this one also. I don't know.
Archie is also the AD and stage manager, so he has a lot of hats on.
God,
so you just went and described them all. And
who's the stage manager of the show?
Archie.
You just said that. I'm not doing it.
Are you talking about Renee Fenner? Or
Yes. There's a lot. So there's a lot of hands right now.
Renee Fenner. There's another one.
We have.
Oh my goodness.
Also, we have Lori Potts. Lori Potts as well. There's a lot of people involved, so we just want to make sure to get everybody a shout out.
So this is a good ensemble piece for sure.
No, it really is. Jasmine Wade, Ashley. I don't know her last name. I just met Ashley. It's the first time that we just met.
Ashley plays his little sister.
We have somebody informing us on what we should be saying in the background here. We might want to have to bring them on.
Might have to. That's an important piece.
But the Hawthorne Players will be presenting A Raisin in the Sun at the Florissant Civic Center Theater in the Gary R. Gaddis Auditorium. And those show days are November 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 10th at 7:30 p.m. Those are all Fridays and Saturday nights. And it'll close on November 11th on a 2 p.m. Sunday matinee. Tickets are $18 for adults, $16 for seniors and students. For ticket info, call 921-5678. Visit us online, www.florissantmoat.com, or check out the Hawthorne Players at www.hawthorneplayers.com. And lastly, before I go, I just want to say the Hawthorne Players are made up completely of volunteers. Nobody's getting paid to do these shows, but they are professionals nonetheless. They take times off of, from their actual jobs and from their families. Hopefully not too much time from any of those, but to put on professional quality theater right here in Florissant, right here in our backyard. I want also you to remember that the arts are a gateway to education and culture, and please come out and support the arts, and don't let anybody take the arts away from you. Thanks again for being with us here today, guys. Kimmy, Eric, it was a pleasure, and stay tuned for the calendar of events. Thank you for joining us for the calendar of events. Coming up in October at the Florissant Civic Center Theater, we've got the Alpha Players presenting Bells Are Ringing, October 5th, 6th, 12th, and 13th at 7:30 p.m. and October 14th at 2 p.m. Step back into the 1950s with this charming romantic comedy that follows the exploits of Ella, a telephone answering service operator with a fascination for her clients' private lives. At Suzanne's answer phone, Ella uses a variety of voices and persona to keep herself entertained as she follows the lives of her customers. Ella becomes inextricably involved with a handsome playwright, a fledgling record company, and a dangerous crime ring. The tuneful score, with lyrics by Comden and Green, features some of Jewel Stein's most popular songs, including Just in Time, The Party's Over, Long Before I Knew You, and Better Than a Dream. Admission is $20 for adults, $18 for seniors and students, and $12 for children 12 and under. Also in October, the North Wind Concert Band presents Sunday at the Pops, October 21st at 3 p.m. North Wind's concert band, under the direction of Larry Marsh, will present Sunday at the Pops on October 21st, 2018. At the Florissant Civic Center Theater, Maestro Marsh has planned an upbeat and uplifting program featuring marches, overtures, film scores, and Broadway medleys. Swing tunes and novelty numbers also included. Featured vocalist Ike Eichenberger will have you singing along with Cab Calloway's classic, Minnie the Moocher, and you'll be dancing in the aisles, not really, to the great arrangement by Robert Buckley entitled Jitterbug. Two giants in American music will be honored as the band plays Aretha Franklin's Think and celebrates the 100th anniversary of Leonard Bernstein's birth with dances from West Side Story, music, and also key features from Disney movies and from The Incredibles. Wow, okay. The 60-piece North Winds Ensemble has presented concerts in Florissant for over 50 years and is a program of Ferguson Florissant's Marketing and Communications Department. For more information on the band, you can be found at northwindsband.org. Tickets for that are $8 for adults and $6 for seniors and students. Now, the Florissant Fine Arts Council has announced their 2018-19 season, and that's the Applause series featuring our first show in the season will be October 26th at 7:30 p.m., and that's The Headless Hessian of Sleepy Hollow and Other American Horror Stories, just in time for Halloween. So if you're looking for that Friday night scare before Halloween, this is the perfect show to go to. It's done in the style of the 1940s radio broadcast, very similar to like the War of the Worlds, with the Foley artistry and sound effects all on stage, and the actors in the show all play people who work at the radio station. And they're presenting 3 different shows on their radio show that night. One is the Headless Horseman. Another show is the one by Edgar Allan Poe, and then the Lizzie Borden Axe Murderers. And so there's a play within a play. It's funny. There's a lot of hijinks going on because things go wrong at the radio station at the night of the performance. But we've had this show in here before with It's a Wonderful Life. It's one of the finest shows I've ever, or that was one of the finest shows I've ever seen there at the theater. And so don't miss this one, first show of the Florissant Fine Arts Council season. There are season tickets available now, and I implore you to get season tickets. It's a much better ticket deal for the shows, and we have a 4-show season. The second show will be in December, and that is the Louisa Marshall Tina Turner tribute. She was here back in 2011, and it was just a rock and roll fiasco, and anybody who came and saw that show would really enjoy it, and I encourage you to come out and see that. The third show in the season is, make sure I'm not forgetting anything here, it's the St. Louis Theater Musicians Orchestra, and that's featuring musicians from the Muni, from the Fabulous Fox, and they will be accompanying Charles Glenn, who a lot of you might know from singing the national anthem at the St. Louis Blues games, and Patricia Scanlon, who's a Hawthorne player, avid member with them and with the Northwinds Concert Band. She's also been a leading soprano for the St. Louis Symphony Chorus. So it's a great night of Broadway tunes sung by some of the greatest, singers here in the area with the best musicians St. Louis has to offer. The final show in the Fine Arts season is Nat King Cole's An Unforgettable Century, featuring Joe Bourne and his jazz trio. This will be the 100th anniversary of Nat King Cole's birth, and so it'll be an unforgettable century and an unforgettable night. So come out and see that show, and that's not until April. Furthering on with our calendar, though, coming up in November, we have A Raisin in the Sun, brought to you by the Hawthorne Players. That's November 2nd, 3rd, the 9th and 10th at 7:30 p.m., and November 11th at 2 p.m. The highly praised play follows the Youngers, an African-American family together in the 1950s Southside Chicago, and the family receives a $10,000 insurance check from the death of their late father, but each member wants the money to fund a different dream. Whether it's going to medical school or buying a house and some of those things. And tensions increase as each tries to escape the lower class neighborhood, bringing up questions of identity, class, values, race, and love, and outside forces working against them. Tickets are $18 for adults, $16 for seniors and students. The St. Louis Family Theater Series is back this November with our first show, Pete the Cat from TheaterWorks USA. We've got 2 public performances on November 17th and 18th at 2 p.m. That's a Saturday and a Sunday right before Thanksgiving. Pete the Cat is swept the nation with this show, and get your tickets now. Season tickets are available for our fine art or our family theater series. This is the most affordable children's theater in all of St. Louis. It's the only children's theater in North County, and you're not going to see quality productions like this anywhere else. And it's at the most affordable cost. You can check us out online or on Facebook. You know, we want to be your friend. Tell your friends and family about these shows. But the first show is Pete the Cat. Then we're doing a whole series on animals this year, apparently. It was the thing. We've got Pete the Cat, then we've got Cat in the Hat, then we've got Penguin Goes to Flight School, the musical, and we finish off with The Ugly Duckling, which is a production we had here a number of years ago, which that same group won came in second place on America's Got Talent, and that is fun for the whole family. This isn't just for children also. Adults, grandparents come out, they always enjoy these shows. One of the great things about these is that we have the actors come out after the show and talk with the kids and sign autographs. There's arts and crafts in the lobby before each show. And so there's always something to entertain the kids. The show's only an hour long, so it'll keep their attention. And once again, it's the most affordable children's theater in all of St. Louis. So let me tell you about Pete the Cat. Pete the Cat gets caught rocking out after bedtime. The cat catcher sends him to live with the Biddle family to learn his manners. And boy, are they square. But for the groovy blue cat, life is an adventure, no matter where you wind up. So the minute Pete the Cat walks in the door, he gets the whole family rocking. The whole family, that is, except for young Jimmy Biddle, the most organized second grader on planet Earth. As the end of second grade approaches, Jimmy has a lot of tests, and the last thing he needs is some groovy cat in his life. So there's lots of hijinks with the cat, you know, getting the kid involved in all sorts of things that he normally wouldn't be, and it's got some great lessons for the kids, and tickets are only $8 a piece. Now, if you buy our season ticket package for all 4 shows, it's only $24. You can't beat that price, and for the entertainment that it ensues. Also in November, the Alpha Players will have a holiday show. The title has not been announced yet, but as of November, it'll be November 29th and 30th at 7:30 p.m. Then we'll move into December with the yes, we're already talking about December, I know. Midwest Ballet Theater, Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. And that's December 2nd at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. and admission is $15 a piece. The Florissant Fine Arts Council will have Louisa Marshall's Simply the Best, a Tina Turner tribute. That is December 8th at 7:30 p.m. If you've never had the chance to see Tina Turner, come out and see this show instead, because she's often mistaken for Tina Turner herself. And I believe she was on Ellen a couple of years ago on the TV show, and they introduced her as Tina Turner, and the audience and the other professional actors on the show that were guests didn't even realize it wasn't her. So if you want to see Tina Turner, come out and see Florissant Fine Arts Council's production of a Tina Turner tribute, Simply the Best. Lastly, we've got a Northwinds concert band in December also, Hometown Holiday Special. And that will be, you know, it'll feature Christmas songs, you know, it's the most wonderful time of the year, Sleigh Ride, Leroy Anderson's Christmas Festival. The band will also feature Alan Silvestri's marvelous score for A Christmas Carol. And that is December 9th at 3 p.m. The St. Louis Brass Band will do a holiday spectacular December 16th at 6 p.m. And just in time for Christmas, the Next Generation Theater Company, who just finished doing Newsies and was a huge success at the Florissant Civic Center Theater, is doing It's a Wonderful Life December 21st and 22nd at 7:30 p.m. and December 23rd at 2 p.m. We'll have lots of great things for you in the new year. Family Theater will be going, Fine Arts Council, Hawthorne Players, Alpha Players, Next Generation Theater Company, Northwinds Concert Band. We'll have the Valley of Flowers back in the spring with the Zope Italian Family Circus. We've got Next Generation Theater will be doing Jekyll and Hyde in January and February. Cat in the Hat also in January, and auditions for My Three Angels also in January. Need to say a couple things. Give us a call at our box office 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Area code 314-921-5678. Our website is www.florissantmo.com. Check us out on Facebook. Tickets are available for sale 45 days in advance, and we accept all major forms of, cash or credit card or check, and, come out, purchase some seats, come and see a show. Thanks for watching On Cue.